Hello, everyone. It is Neha here with College Shortcuts. I am so excited today because we are very excited to be starting our 7-day challenge right off the bat today. Today's topic is specifically on how to talk with your counselors at school. And it's a big hot topic because a lot of people assume that college consultants and college counselors are arch enemies, but it couldn't be further than the truth. Actually, we surveyed upwards of 100 counselors, and 78% of them said, oh my gosh, if only students and parents utilized us better, then they would see incredible results. 78% of them agreed that you guys don't know how to use them effectively. And so today, I'm going to be giving you my 3 top tips on exactly what it takes to truly make sure that you are using the counselors at school properly. So I want to welcome everyone on here today. If you are watching, please say hi and like the video and of course heart it and share it. And if you haven't done so already, please make sure, and I'm going to go ahead and see if I can copy this comment over here, but please make sure to log in and register for our 7-day challenge. And the reason why we do this is because I am actually offering an incredible roadmap. See, I love to plan. I love to make sure things are handled well. And so what I want to do is make sure that you have the information you need. So let me go ahead and see if I can go ahead and add that comment here below so that you can absolutely get the help that you're needing with that downloadable PDF. So in the PDF that I will be sharing with you, you will be able to literally go and print it out and put it right on your fridge. No joke. And it will tell you exactly what you need to know in the process. So let me go ahead and put that right here below. All right. There we go. So there's that link. So if you have not registered yet, this is the time to get in and register for that. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the college counselor meetings because so many of you forget to utilize the free services that you have in the college consulting experience. And one of the biggest mistakes is not using your college counselor well. So what I want to do today is to start off the conversation is I actually want to show you a video of me when I was talking with a college counselor myself. I actually went into the college counselor's office. I remember I had done that. So we had filmed a video together talking about her experience as a college counselor at school and my experience as a college consultant to show you the biggest pitfalls that we see over and over so that if this is your first time or even if it's your second time, there's always a better and more improved way to approach this. So I'm going to go ahead and play this video really quickly. Let me pull the video up here. All right, so I'm going to show you a video that's really fascinating, and I think it's going to definitely change the way you see things when it comes to the process. So let me go ahead and show you. So this is an interview I had done with a college consultant, a college counselor at school, and so you're going to see some of the biggest challenges they face as a college counselor and some of the things they have to deal with when it comes to parents and students. So here we go. Okay, so I'm hearing we're having some technical difficulties. Unfortunately, if that is the case, what I'm going to do, let me know if you can hear me right now. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, please say yes. Sorry, guys. Okay, so I'm hearing we're having some Gotta love the technical difficulties. Let me know if you can hear me. Say yes if you can hear me right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to copy and paste that interview link so that you guys can watch that later. Okay, great, good. I'm glad to hear that you can hear me. Okay, I'll just tell you kind of the gist of what that video was about. So basically, me and the college counselor were talking, and she said her number one issue is that there are too many students to manage. So what I want to do is I actually want to show you kind of a math equation, because, you know, we all love math. But I want to show you a little math equation that will show you what some counselors are dealing with, because I think a lot of us forget how much work is involved in this process. So I'm going to go ahead and show you a great example here. So let's say college counselor at school has a freshman class, sophomore class, junior class, and a senior class. And let's say roughly there are 1,500 students in each class that they are dealing with. So the number one class they are most focused on at all times are the senior class. The second tier of students they focus on eventually are the junior class. Now, I was talking with a college counselor today, and they said even in January of senior year, they are still dealing with seniors and getting stuff in. I don't know how that's possible because the deadline is January 1st for most colleges, but I think that's really important to note that that means that the juniors get really put on the back burner, okay? So that means, for example, we're in January, let's say, and you've got juniors and junior parents who have to plan out their spring break, right? And instead of being able to plan out their spring break, the college counselors will set up meetings in April for the group. Maybe they'll set up for juniors one-on-ones in March, and they just start to have conversations. So I want you to see that we're talking about upwards of 3,000 students at minimum that some schools have to handle. 3,000 teenagers. Okay, let me just make this a little bigger for you to understand. Just think about what it's like to have one teenager. Okay, so you've got 3,000 teenagers. That means 3,000 transcripts. It means 3,000 SAT or ACT scores. It means 3,000 college lists, of which the average college list is 10 colleges. So now we are at 3,000 times 10 equals 30,000 applications to review. So we've got, and let me make this a little smaller. You guys are probably like, Neha, your math is great, but your font's too big. So let me show you this. So we are talking about 30,000 applications, which means 1 to, let's say 10 at the max, college counselors. And before I even go there, let's assume it's 2 essays per application of 30,000 equals 60,000 essays. And let's assume that's divided into 10 counselors. So roughly 6,000 essays to be reviewed. Let's just say there's 10 by one human being. One. So I say this because I think a lot of us expect our college counselor at school to be a college consultant, but it couldn't be farther than the truth. The average college consultant, depending on the agency, is not dealing with 1,500 kids, not one human. They either have a massive team dealing with it, and they make sure they have multiple people working with one kid. So I really feel it's important for you to get a little bit of perspective when it comes to these college counselors and why it is so important for you to use the 3 tips I'll be giving you when you deal with your college counselor at school. Because The average, and I'll tell you, I went into a college counselor's office because I was like, you know what, I've got to like feel what you feel. I want to understand you better. And I was feeling nervous. I was like, why am I feeling nervous? I'm in this day in, day out. There's something about the experience of walking in, and it feels like a lot of pressure. And I remember I sat with her, and it was a 25-minute meeting, and it felt honestly like 5 minutes. So I'm getting a question to pin my website. Yes, absolutely. I would love to do that. Hi, Lisa. Nice to see you. Everyone that's on, can you please say hi and tell me where you're from and what grade your child is in? Because to me, it's really important to make sure that you are letting me know where you're at. This is an interactive session today. And what I mean by interactive, it means you will only get what you put into it. So the more questions you have, the more engagement we have together, the more I can absolutely serve and help you. And like I told everyone at the very beginning, when I started this challenge last week, I said, hey, just so you know, we will be doing some great prizes, for this contest. And the people that are the most participatory, they're going to be the ones that win the most. So I wanted to make sure you knew that because it is so important for us to participate. So I'm going to take a second here and pin the link. But as I'm doing that, it would be amazing if you could tell me your city, state, and what grade your kid is in. That way I can get a sense of where you're at, and I can tailor this presentation right to you. So go ahead and type that down below in a comment, so that way I know exactly where you're at in the college process. Now, a lot of people don't realize this, but getting into college starts a lot earlier than just junior year. But unfortunately, as I showed you based on the math, it is very hard for a college counselor to be giving you the time of helping your child get in, when in reality, they've got to deal with 60,000 essays upwards, ranging from 30,000 to 60,000 essays, plus letters of recommendations to write for the seniors and the juniors. And so that's why this entire process gets delayed. It's why you don't get the attention you need. And I tell parents this all the time. If you walk in, for example, if you're like walking into a Walmart to get a dress, it's a very different experience than walking into a Nordstrom or a nice boutique to get a dress. And the reason I tell you this is, and I'm not saying one is better than the other, I'm saying that it's a difference in experience and a difference in expectation. And so what a lot of people do is they expect that the experience at a college counselor's office would be similar to one of a college consultant, but they're actually completely different. Want to say hi to a lot of you wonderful, wonderful moms. Okay, so we've got Lisa on. Hi, Lisa. Nice to see you. So wonderful. Definitely pinned my post. So great. You're from New Jersey. She's got an 8th grader. We've also got Joni from Saratoga Springs, New York. Please stay warm. And she's got a junior, which was absolutely wonderful. Gladys, who has been incredible in watching so many videos. I'm looking forward to you taking action, Gladys. She's in Oklahoma. She has a 6th grader and an 11th grader. So she is making sure that she is staying on top of it and making sure that she knows what she's doing. So let's talk about my top 3 tips when it comes specifically to the college counselor office. Number 1, I was talking to a college counselor and she said, we don't actually end up seeing all of our students. We do a lot of group meetings, and so we don't actually know everybody in the grade. That's just not possible. And I said, okay, what are you talking about? And she said, well, to be really honest, it's the kids that are constantly being proactive. Those are the ones that get the most attention. And to be honest, if you think about the real world, it's those that are consistently putting things out, consistently being of value, consistently following up. Those are the ones that get the opportunities. And the ones that are upset about it are the ones that didn't put in as much effort, or maybe didn't know that that was part of the game. So I want you to know that it's the students that are highly proactive in the process. those are the ones that build the relationship with the college counselor, that take ownership of the process. And the parents that are involved are extremely, they are definitely noted in the college counselor's office. But I was talking to a dad last week who is a high-power lawyer, doesn't really have time for this stuff. And he said, I have followed up with my college counselor for my kid 4 times, and I'm still getting the runaround. And I said, well, you have to understand you aren't top priority whatsoever. Your kid's not a senior, not a junior really. And, it's just too early in their mind. They don't know what to talk to you about. And he said, but there is so much to talk about. And I said, yes, there is a lot to talk about, sir. But that's going to be something where college consulting comes into place, where we do assessments. We take a look, we get a sense of where your kid is at. These are different types of services than what your school can provide, just based on course load, caseload. And in the video that I pinned, that I showed you guys, that was one of her #1 biggest challenges was, I work with way too many students to know who they are. I don't have the time to get to know them, and I definitely don't have the time to work with them early on in the process. So I think that's something you need to understand, is that one of the best ways to combat this situation is to be proactive in the process. And what does that exactly mean? Now, this sounds a little crazy because most of you are used to the system of how a college counselor sets the college admissions system up, which is, it's not really preventative care. It's more like, let's just react to what needs to get done. So that means we handle things end of junior year, senior year, all of that good stuff, versus starting early on and knowing what to do. And so being proactive would mean you as a parent taking ownership and really making sure that you sit down with that college counselor early on in the process. For everyone that's watching, please say hi, like the video. I like the likes, it makes me happy. And make sure to share this video as well. And don't forget, I've pinned a link for you to get the free downloadable PDF for your roadmap to stick on your fridge for your child. So don't forget that. So please say hello. Again, I'm asking a quick question. I see a lot of people. Oh, I got my first like. Yes. Oh my God, who did that? Hi, Joni. Thank you for the like. It makes such a difference for me. So what I want you guys to know is that being proactive means today, you can go and talk with your counselor. You can reach out through email, leave a voicemail, call them. There's a few ways to reach people nowadays, right? So I want you to take that level of ownership in this process to sit down with them and talk with them. You do have a lot of data points to have with your child, and I think it's really important to know that. Thanks, Gladys, for the like. I love it. I see a lot of you guys logging on. Please make sure to like the video. Let me know where you're from, what grade your kid is in. Just type in the number like 10th, 8th, 9th, 7th, 5th, in the womb, whatever it is. Love to know. And if you're from a different country too, please feel free. We have a global presence now on Facebook. So when I talk about being proactive, it's extremely important to set that time up. See, my theory is if it's not in the schedule, it just doesn't happen. And it's actually kind of true. I'll give you a great example. If I don't write down that I'm going to the gym, I just don't go to the gym. I mean, there's just so many better things to do, right? Like stuff my face with mac and cheese and watch Netflix, right? So you have got to make sure that you are putting things in the calendar. And moms, by the way, you guys are great with calendars, okay? Just so good. So I want you to stick to your system, whatever it is, Google Cal, written, Calendly, whatever it is, and make sure that you are setting that up with your kid. And if you are getting the runaround in the process, I want you to know that we do offer assessments. We do help kids build out their college list. We do look at their grades and their test scores to figure out what is going to be the best bet for them. So I want to let you know that we do that. And if you do want that, you can absolutely send us a message above, up here, and we can tell you about how we do that with you. Now, today, list of things. Email your college counselor. Reach out to them. Say, hello, I have a blank and blank grader. I want to talk about my kid. And in that meeting, you want to discuss things like, what are the grades that need to happen to get into a good college? What are the steps we need to be taking in this process? But let me tell you the biggest mistake that parents do in the process when they do this. They go into the meetings. Most parents go into the meetings. They're like, so I have a kid at your school, and I'm just wondering, like, what are your thoughts about this whole thing? You know, what do you recommend for me? Instead of going in there and saying, hey, you know, I was on the portal. I've downloaded what courses my kids are taking. You know, what the grades have been, and, you know, we're about to look into possibly test prep, or we're in the middle of it. These are the scores we have. So based on these data points and what you've known over the past few years of doing this, what do you think is the best fit? This is what my kid is interested in studying. You know, we're interested in these geographical locations. Have we gotten students into schools in these areas with these types of, do you notice my energy is a little different than, what do you think my kid needs? So here you're being a participant, and I tell you this all the time. That's why I'm asking you to ask me questions. Type your questions below, people. I am live and ready, and I will answer every question. Free advice right now. But let me tell you something. It's about taking ownership of this process and being participatory. That's my second step to this. One is being proactive, and second is being a real true participant in this process. Not just putting all your eggs in the college counselor's like bucket. Okay, it's also about you, and it's also about your family and what you know. Because let me tell you something, you know your kid better than anybody else. You know your kid better than the college counselor, than their friends, than their teachers. You know them better. So it is your job to get involved in the process. Now, one of the best ways to get involved in the process is to actually sit down and have conversations with your kid. Now, for some of you, that's a little tough. I'll tell you why. Some teenagers, the dynamic, what happens is they think you're overbearing or you're a helicopter, and so then they start rebelling basically against you. And that's the last thing you really want, is to deal with someone who's just ignoring you or in one ear out the other. And I know that can be really frustrating. So I want you to understand that there is a method to this. Sometimes even getting outside help, like I've got these incredible consultants on my team that make the whole process really fun. So we ask specific questions and we tailor and build out that beautiful college list. And that way parents are really prepared and they feel really ready and they feel like they understand exactly what needs to happen. So we absolutely can do that for you. Super El Cheapo. It's not that expensive, and we can absolutely do that for you. I want to play a quick commercial real quick. So let's go break to commercial for a second. I'll be right back.
Have an overwhelmed student? Bad grades? Low test scores? Or just unable to focus? When it is time for you to find a tutor for your child, just tell us what you need. You can pick from elite, master, or ultimate coaches that I have personally handpicked.
My name is Gretchen. I'm from a small town in Texas, and I was valedictorian in my graduating class.
Valedictorian of my high school class.
I graduated top 1% of my high school.
With a GPA of 3.9 out of 4.
4.0 out of 4.0.
And on our website, you can find in-depth photo and video profiles of each one. And on top of it, you receive a free trackable tutoring report after every single session. Unheard of in the tutoring industry. Moms love working with us because we make their lives easier.
I've had very good experiences with all of the tutors that I've encountered. They're polite, they're together. Kelly made honor roll for the spring semester. I've recommended Elite private tutors in the past and will continue to do so.
Join and book free through our online scheduling system to have a tutor smiling and at your door tomorrow. We make moms' lives easier in academic coaching, test prep, college consulting, personal coaching, and much more. Call today.
All right. Hope you loved that. Elite Private Tutors is a sister company of College Shortcuts that I run to help make sure your life is easier. So I want to tell you something real quick. I've got a phenomenal question here from Gladys. I absolutely love it. Also want to say thank you to Lisa for the like. I love it when you guys like the video. For everyone watching, make sure to like and comment below city and state or country that you're from. All right, so let's go ahead and do this one because this is a genius question. So Gladys is asking, Neha, here in the Midwest, most kids just want to go to the local colleges and very few apply to out-of-state colleges. how do we make certain that our college counselors at school can help us with these out-of-state college admissions if they're not even used to doing that? Gladys, this is an incredible question. And I'll tell you a great example of why it's a good question. It's kind of like if you go to your doctor, just your regular doctor, and you're like, hey, my hand's broken. Can you fix my hand? And they're like, sure, we could try to fix your hand. Why not? Yeah, let me try that. And they're like, ugh, and you're like screaming in pain. Well, the truth of the matter is, if you don't go to a hand doctor or someone who specializes in competitive schools or the strategy it takes to go to an out-of-state school, well, then you're dealing with an overall generalist who only is good at doing certain things. And I tell people this all the time, you know. So, and the same thing, Gladys, we hear this a lot in a lot of different places where they just go to local schools. And, you know, I had one mom who, it was horrible. Last year, she called me and she goes, Neha, I've been watching your videos and they're really like real. I said, I know, I try to just be real. I want to be real with you guys, tell you the truth about what's really going on. She said, well, I called my the college counselor at school. My son is a top student. He's very driven. He knows what he wants to do. He's passionate about it. He's a little introverted. He doesn't really, it's hard for him to be proactive in a sense. She goes, well, I decided to be proactive. And I said, my son really wants to go to Boston College. Have we ever gotten a student from this high school into Boston College? And the college counselor goes, no, we've never done that before. Most of them get rejected, or we just haven't really done that before. But you know what you should do is you should go to the Common Application, just Google that online, and then you go there and you click on Boston College and you fill out the application and you send it. And the parent's like, wait a second. So that's the strategy you want to give me when you know you've never gotten a kid into Boston College. Is there anything else that you can recommend? She calls me. She's in tears, just so you know. This is a really hard conversation for her because she really wants to do the best for her child. She tried to be proactive in the process, tried to have conversations with her kids. She's following my steps, but she hit what I call a barrier, a wall. And she knew in her heart and her instinct that the recommendation she was getting from the college counselor wasn't going to be enough for her kid. So that's why she called me. And so Gladys, when you asked that question, like, I really feel for you because I've heard this over and over, and it's really frustrating to see that you have to deal with a college counselor who's not willing to help your kid specifically in what they need. I had another mom recently who came back to me and she said, Neha, my kid's number 6 out of 1,200, and I don't know what to do because the college counselor keeps ignoring us. Like, we've tried to reach out numerous times. So these strategies will work up to a certain level, but then it also comes to the point, and then you have to make sure that you are getting the real help that you need. And so that's why we exist here at College Shortcuts. If you look at our site, I've gotten students into practically every top college on the U.S. News World and Report. We know what it takes to get in, and we know what doesn't work. Let me tell you what doesn't work, by the way. What doesn't work, it sounds crazy, but what doesn't work is filling out the Common Application and just hitting submit. I've never, ever given that as a recommendation before because it takes so much more work and finessing and time to really make sure that you are building incredible essays. We ended up working with that kid. He obviously got into his top 3 choices, and it was really fun because his essays were incredible. They were so good, I actually put them into a report that parents bought at that time. And they were like, dude, that essay was really well written. And it's because he was very expressive, but his college counselor was not going to give him the time at all whatsoever to edit and go through every line and have an essay editor on his team and the support he needed. So Gladys, the truth of your answer falls in the fact that if you have a broken hand, go to the hand doctor. Don't go to a generalist who may not be specialized in understanding that, because you never know. If your kid wants to go out of state, I mean, you want to make sure you're giving them the best opportunities. The worst thing I've heard over and over from moms is my kid had to transfer. My kid went to a local school. They're not happy there. My kid lives at home and hates it. My kid hates his friends at school. My kid got into the wrong friend group and is in rehab. And then they don't even get the opportunities they want. And then they're a year behind in this entire process. So I just wanted to answer that question because I think it's really important. I see Amar on. Hi, Amar. Nice to see you. Everyone that's on, please say hi. Let me know what city. Oops, I dropped my phone. Let me know what city and state you are from so I can absolutely welcome you on. Don't forget, I put a link below here that gives you a free roadmap that will tell you exactly what to do month to month for your kid getting into college. And it even tells you like different dates for when tests are and things that you need to make sure you know. So make sure you fill that out below. So I want to take a quick commercial break one more time. I want to play a video of Lauren. She's a mom that is kind of like you. You know, she was going through the process. She was talking to her college counselor. She wasn't sure about what she was doing. And then we ended up working with her son, and some incredible things happened. So I want you to hear from her directly.
Hi, my name is Lauren Slocum Lahab, and I am honored to be here to talk about Elite Private Tutors and what they did for my son, Joss. Joss, you know, great kid, big heart, but pretty much an average student. And he was really concerned when his senior year came up. He was like, Mom, I don't know if I can get into the colleges that I really want. So when I found Elite Private Tutors, they really understood my son, and we were committed to helping him create a great essay. And they were so great about asking him really great questions, understanding who he is as a person and his mission. And I am so grateful to them for helping my son understand that he didn't have to have a perfect SAT, he didn't have to have the perfect grades, and that he could still shine, and he got in every college that he desired. So I'm extremely grateful, and I can't wait for my other two kids to work with Elite Private Tutors.
I hope you enjoyed that video. I love every mom that I work with, and I just think it's an incredible experience to have that kind of impact, you know, with a student, with a family, and I continue to talk with her about any issues she has with any of her, I think, 4 children. So I wanted to play that video for you to understand that sometimes the college counselor may not be the best fit for you, and it's important for you to be proactive and for you to take action based on what you truly need. So I want to talk about my last tip here specifically today in the college counselor office, how to handle it, how to deal with it. First, I told you about the importance of being proactive in the process. The second thing I told you about was the importance of coming in with the right energy and mindset when you walk in there, to be involved in the process and to make sure you've had conversations with your kid ahead of time. Nothing more awkward than, and I'll tell you because I've experienced it myself, than your mom and your dad, and then it's you right here, and as a student, and your mom's like, you want to go out of state? And you're like, yeah, I want to leave far away from you, right? Like super awkward conversations. Those need to be done at home. I'll tell you a great example. I was on a call recently with an incredible family, and I go, okay, guys, let's talk about, you know, location of school. And the dad goes, well, anywhere where she can get into that's the best school, that's where she should go. And the mom goes, she should go anywhere that's within 4 hours driving distance. And so I could feel the tension. These are not easy conversations. These are big decisions. You're about to invest at least $100,000 to $200,000 into something. Yes, there are going to be hard conversations. So make sure that you're having them early on. It's really, really important. The next thing I want to talk to you about, the last tip, and let me go ahead and get this question right here. Hi, Gladys. Nice to see you again. Beautiful question here. She says, how many consultants do we work with, and do we have access to as well? Gladys, phenomenal question. We have different packages depending on level of involvement with different levels of consultants. No matter what, you will always have at minimum 2 consultants handling your child. And just so you know, everyone on the line watching, we only work with 100 students a year. We're currently running our early bird specials where parents are getting 50% off our packages right now. No joke. And the reason why we only do 100 is because once we fill the 100 spots, we're done. I only hire a certain amount of consultants. They only work with a handful of students, and they really go deep with the student. And so I want you to know that Gladys is asking, do you have access to me? Yes, depending on which package you get. I only specifically, just so you know, everyone, I only work with 5 students. My rates tend to be very high, but I've highly trained consultants that I have personally trained myself, and that have actually worked at other agencies as well that I have poached that are phenomenal consultants that are literally going to work with your kid as well. So we have different packages, Gladys. If you are interested in working with us, please make sure, I can definitely make sure one of my consultants reaches out to you. Send me a message above to say, hi, this is Gladys. Here's my phone number. I want to talk to you guys. And we will definitely help you too, because I know that it is so important. So let me tell you about the third tip specifically when it comes to the college consulting process and specifically dealing with their college counselor. The big tip I have to give you, and it sounds really simple, but for a lot of parents we see, it's actually one of the hardest tips on the planet to give you, and that is to start early. Now, I know, Gladys, you've got a 6th grader. I know we've got a lot of different parents on the line here. Lisa's got an 8th grader. There are a lot of opportunities here to start early in the process. And when I mean start early, and I know it sounds crazy, so for the parents that have middle schoolers, I'm going to talk to you for a minute here. You actually can completely impact the type of college your kid goes to just based on your child's choice in a high school and choice in types of classes. So for example, my parents made sure I was always in honors classes. And it was challenging, but it wasn't so challenging that I was making bad grades, but it was challenging enough that it showed the high school that I went to that I should be in all honors and AP classes. And then I got into a school like Rice University. Now, it takes a lot of work to get into a school like that, but it definitely starts early on in the process all the way from middle school. Now, if you have a high schooler in the process, you absolutely should be hounding your college counselor to meet with them one-on-one. And if you haven't sent that email, I really do recommend that you do it here today, because you're probably going to forget about it later and you're not going to do it. This is the time to take 5 minutes and do it. And you want to make sure you are having your child take the right classes at the right time, not too many, not too little, not too challenging, not too easy. There's certain classes that have a bad rap of being hard. We know all of them. We actually build out 4-year plans for students all the time. And then also you want to make sure that you're looking into extracurricular activities, and then looking at the resume, and you're looking at what they're interested in, getting those experiences. So that really can start in 9th grade all the way through. And so I want you to understand the importance of really making sure that your child is, instead of being in a reactive place, being in a proactive and early place in the process. So starting early is key in this. And I talked to a mom of a junior recently. It was really interesting. She had said, look, Neha, we had taken the SAT last year. This was the score. It wasn't that great. She didn't prep that much. And then, recently we tried to have a conversation about studying again, and it didn't go very well. And now she's kind of stalling on the whole process, and the test is in 2 months. And I told the parent, I said, look, sometimes getting outside help is really, really amazing. Like having a mentor, having someone outside of you to be involved. I mean, that's why a lot of students, 99% of students or 98% are not homeschooled. There's a reason why it takes a village to raise your child. And so for you as a parent, you have to make the decisions around those processes instead of just trying to, in one ear out the other, megaphone it into your kid and hoping that they're listening to you, when in reality, they're not. And so I tell parents that some of the most successful parents we work with are the ones that just take that first step. They start early and they take that first step. Or if they know they're late, they just take that first step. So that's my last tip to you today, is to make sure you're taking the next step in your kid's future. Because before you know it, you snap a finger and they're a senior. Before you know it, they're graduating college. Before you know it, you're walking them down the aisle. So I want you to know that, because most parents don't realize it. They can remember, oh my God, I remember when I had my kid, and then it's like, oh my God, they graduated kindergarten and that was a big deal. And then, oh my God, they started middle school. Time flies faster as you get older. So when you think about it, we've already gone through 1/12 of the year. It's insane to me, but it's important for you to understand that starting early is all part of this process. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm so glad to see so many of you guys on. Bins, Amar, Gladys, William, Joni, so many of you guys are logged in here today. If you have any questions, please type them below. Would love to hear from you. Today is our day 1 of our 7-day challenge, specifically around getting into the college of your dreams and how to handle your college counselor. I'm going to recap for you here today. Number 1, one of the most important things for you to do specifically is to make sure that you are being proactive in the process. They say the squeaky wheel gets the wheel? The squeaky wheel? No. Maybe you should tell me below. Like the video, share it, tell me below what that sentence is, because I can't seem to think about it. So it's all about being proactive with your college counselor. Email them, call them, leave them a voicemail, set up that appointment ASAP right now with that counselor. Second thing I talked about was the importance of having open conversations with your child, meaning talk with them, find out about what it is they're interested in, what do they hate, what are the things you need to do to help them find what they are passionate about. There are a lot of conversations that need to be happening around something like $100,000 to $200,000 investment when it comes to college. So you really want to be having those prior to that meeting instead of in. Oh my God, thank you, Joni. Seriously, that's the answer. The squeaky wheel gets the oil. I guess I've been saying it wrong this whole time. Oh my God, that's really funny. Okay. Oh, Joni, you got a question here. I'm going to create an overlay here. All right. How do you perform the assessment with the parents and student jointly, online or on the phone? Beautiful question, Joni. We absolutely conduct these assessments on the phone, and we do it with either the student or with the parents or both. It just depends on how the family wants it to be done. It's customized because I know that every family has its own dynamic, and I have to be careful. So we absolutely do that, and then we help and walk through and talk through to see what the next steps are, what needs to happen. We love doing assessments, just so you know. It is a lot of fun because we uncover a lot of things in those. The second thing I want you to know is the importance of obviously setting those meetings, because your college counselor is writing almost 50% of the letters of recommendations a college gets. And so if they don't know your kid, well, that letter of recommendation sucks. And so we don't want that, right? We want them to know your kid, for them to have a relationship with you. They want you to make sure that your kid's a good fit for that school as well. And the last thing I talked about here today was the importance of starting early in the process. I've got some incredible moms here that have 6th graders, 8th graders, 11th graders, and they know that it is time to take the next step in making sure their kid is taken care of. And I've made sure you guys know I've pinned the link at the top with my roadmap. It's just a free roadmap that literally maps out what you need to be focusing on starting on in the year, month to month, exactly what you should be doing. So please make sure to fill out that form so we can help you with that. And I'll tell you why it's so important. A lot of college counselors at school have said things like, oh, you can take the SAT or the ACT once junior year and then take it senior year. You can't be more farther than the truth of what's an appropriate time to be starting these things and the number of times you should be taking these tests. And so I want you guys to really understand the importance of meeting with your college counselor early, knowing what needs to happen, and building out a strategy, sticking it in a planner, getting that schedule in, because if it's not on your calendar, it doesn't happen. That's just the truth of it. So I hope this video has been really helpful. If it has, please make sure to share it with at least 1 or 2 mom friends that you have to make sure that your kid is getting the help they need. But let's spread the love a little bit, because I want to make sure that any mom that is feeling stress, anxiety, frustration, that they are getting the support that they truly need in the process. The second thing is, please like the video. It makes a big difference to me and the little algorithm on Facebook. So it shows to more parents and people really get the help that they're needing. And last, if you haven't signed up, please click below on the comment that's pinned at the top with a little link for you to get your free downloadable roadmap here today. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to type them below. I will be talking to you tomorrow. I'm so excited about day 2. We're going to be talking about some incredible ways on what it takes to really build out that college list. You can do that at any time, starting early. You can estimate and hypothesize what would make the most sense. And I want to make sure that your kid is absolutely getting the help that they need in this process. So please don't forget to sign up at collegeshortcuts.com. And then I've also pinned the link below. And I am so excited to start our 7-day challenge with you. I hope you've enjoyed this video and that my top 3 tips on exactly how to handle the college counselor is crucial in your child's progress. If you want to do extra credit homework, I've also included my YouTube. If you have not liked my YouTube, you should like my YouTube because the videos are even funnier there. Like, it's funny here, but it's much more funny there. And if you really want to get in, you've got to listen to that interview. I'm actually quite funny with the college counselor. I ask her really hard questions and they're kind of harsh, but it's good for you because don't you want to hear the stuff that you would never ask a college counselor because you're worried about your rep? I know, but I don't have to be. So I want you to watch that video too because I think it's a really funny video. I hope you're having an incredible, incredible day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.